Good morning, Vikings. I'm Peyton.
And I'm Shania. Today's an A Day.
Prom is approaching fast, so don't miss out. Tickets are now on sale for $85. The big event will be hosted June 1st at 7 p.m. at the Tahoe Blue Event Center.
Boys basketball meetings and sign-up start today. If you're interested, stop by Sths during lunch.
On the hunt for a summer job? Well, Tahoe Learning Haven is hosting a student job fair tonight from 6:45 to 9. Sign up for free and find your ideal summer job in one evening.
And now here's Case with the weather.
Good morning, Vikings. So, as we can see down here in Tahoe, we're going to have a high of 49 today. Up here in Truckee, a high of 52. And down here in Carson, we're going to have a high of 58, now for the 5-day. So, like I said, a high of 49 today. Not really warm, not really cold. It is going to be sunny, though. And these next couple days, we will jump up to the high 50s and then finish the end of the week with the low 60s. All right, now back to the studio.
For the weather Case. And now we're joined by Dr. Bedwell, who's here to talk to us about Title IX. Good morning.
Good morning.
I read an article in Tahoe Mountain News about a local Title IX task force in STHS. First of all, can you kind of explain to us what Title IX is?
Sure. Title IX is all about ensuring gender equity in access to things, especially like athletics and extracurricular activities. That's something I've been involved with since the 90s, so something I'm passionate about.
Alrighty. So I have just a couple of questions for you. One of the first ones I have is, why does it seem that boys teams get first pick on where they get to hold practice and games?
It's a great question, actually. I know there's a perception that is definitely persistent here in our community, and it's really important to know that when we schedule things like practices, like games, there's a lot that goes into that, and our athletic directors, who was me for several years, spent a lot of time to try to make sure that all of our athletes and teams have equal access. A lot of times schedules in terms of times for like when people practice is determined upon coaches' availability. Like, when are they getting off of work? When can they get to school? Because our coaches are pretty hardworking too.
Yeah.
And a lot of the schedules in terms of teams, those are determined by the NIAA. They're not even determined by us. It's something that coaches work together to try to find teams and places where travel is minimized, but that's not something that we always have true control over.
Understandable.
Yeah.
So why do some of our female student athletes, why do they kind of feel that boys teams are made priority over the girls teams?
That's a tough one. And that perception comes out from a lot of things that happen even out in the real world. When we take a look at, say, salaries of men, male athletes versus female athletes. So there's definitely a perception that happens. And I think our coaches and our teams, our athletic directors have worked really hard to try to make sure that our female athletes feel like they're truly valued. But that's going to be a long-term change, and that's something that takes a lot of time to make sure that we kind of continually work towards and continually improve. So I know that perception's out there, but it's out there in the regular world. Again, here in Tahoe, we have definitely tried to do a lot to try to make sure that our women's teams feel like they're truly valued. And if girls, ladies, if you feel like you're not being truly valued, then talk with your coaches, talk with your athletic director. Hennessy's over there, he really wants to hear it. And he is really all about making sure that all of our athletes feel like they are elevated.
Awesome. So another one, so after I read the Tahoe Mountain News article, it explained that some of the members of the board and former high school students here at STHS, athletes, made these issues they brought them to light, made them known. So after that happened, how come we still feel like there's not a lot of change?
True. It definitely was a perception. And I would say when I first started here 5 to 10 years ago, it felt like things weren't quite as equal as they are now. And that's something that we've really put a lot of time and effort into improving over time. But perceptions take a long time. The rumor mill here at Tahoe is strong, and it takes a long time for those old perceptions to really fade away. And I think people have the right to kind of demand that equity piece. But once we start to kind of move that direction, those old histories, those old assumptions sometimes don't fade as quickly as we'd like. I really do feel like our entire athletic department has done a great job really improving things and trying to really be advocates for our female athletes.
Wow, awesome. I have another question. So what do you think that we can do to kind of overcome these issues and, help get this thing going?
Absolutely. So a couple things. Number one, our athletic department has started sending out surveys basically to every team at the end of every season to get more information about their perceptions, about do they have access to equipment, uniforms, budget, things like that, and to try to get those that data from teams so we get your student voice heard. So please fill out those surveys. Don't just ignore those. Number 2, talk with your coach. Make sure that your coach understands what the needs and perceptions are and bring them in on that conversation so that they can be a part of it. Ask them, hey, why are we practicing in the gold gym versus the blue gym? Hey, why are we practicing at 6 p.m. instead of 8 p.m.? And talk about that, but make sure that you're working in a collaborative way so that all of the teams can get what they need, especially when we have limited resources like time, facilities, etc. Everyone's got to work together on it.
Okay. Kind of speaking of like addressing these issues and, you know, kind of helping out this. So I heard there is going to be a school board meeting tomorrow night, I believe, right? So can you kind of explain like what that will be about and what that will do to help?
School board meetings happen basically once a month or twice a month. And it's always a good time that if you feel like you have a comment that needs to be heard, there's always a period that has open for public comment. And so you can have a couple of minutes, you can write your comment on the card, and you can either read it yourself or you can have somebody else read it for you if you're nervous about that. But it's a way to get your voice heard and say, hey, I want to make sure that we're doing the right things. I know that they're doing some presentations on what the gender equity plan has been, including findings as well as future recommendations. So it's a great time to show up, get active in your local community, and get your voice heard.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Bedwell. That was very enlightening, and
Absolutely.
I'm really happy.
Hey, I'm happy to be here.
Alrighty. So, moving on from that, we have AP testing currently taking place up until May 16th. 2 tests will be held at STHS, and all of the rest will be held at the church. And that'll be at 3460 Spruce Avenue. So please check your announcements for more info and to get some info on some testing times.
Sport physicals for high school athletes are on Sunday, May 12th and Sunday, May 19th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Free sport physicals are available by walk-in at the Barton Urgent Care by State Line. No appointment needed.
Grad night for the class of 2024 is on Friday, June 14th from 9 p.m. to 2:30 a.m. It will take place at Heavenly Cal Base where there will be food, drinks, and outdoor amusements.
The Wellness Center is offering Grow Through What You Go Through. It's a 2-day plant workshop with a self-care emphasis. The class is offered on Tuesday, May 14th and the 17th during Flex, so sign up if you're interested.
Dream It, Be It is a program that helps you plan your future. On Monday, May 13th from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. at Valhalla Grand Hall, dinner will be served. For more information, contact Shelly Martinez at shellymartinez@sitahoesierra.org.
Hey, Shania.
What?
So an egg and some bacon are frying in a pan. The egg turns to the bacon and says, "Man, it's hot in here." The bacon says, "Hey, what do you know? A talking egg."
It's just a joke from you.
I wasn't really paying attention, but maybe it was good.
Thanks, Case. That's all for today, Vikings. Now for today's Viking birthday.
Happy, happy birthday. It's a special day. Happy, happy birthday. Happy birthday to